My name's Chang Weisberg. I'm with Guerilla Union. I'm the founder of Rock the Bells. Well, I used to publish a magazine. Definitely was about urban lifestyles and club culture, and I never really even knew I would be a promoter ever. You know, it was just something that I kind of fell into, getting to go out on the road with Cypress Hill in 1998 on the Smoking Grooves tour, and like absorbing it, really fell in love with live music. I just think, you know, the challenge with live music, with promoting shows, the marketing, the venue, working with the acts, it was a little bit different. And I think that's just ultimately where my heart wanted to go, and so that's where I went. You know, that particular show in 2004, our first Rock the Bells, was like a comedy of errors. You know, we've been in that venue, we've done the Cypress Hill Smokeout before that, but I just think the stakes and what made that show so unique was that there were a lot of fans who didn't believe that 10 guys or 9 guys can get back on stage together, if you want to include Capadonna. And everybody who went to that show didn't believe it, but had hope. And, you know, ultimately through the venue being oversold and the security not doing their job and, you know, all the challenges that were in front of us, even getting ODB to stage 10 minutes before, half hour late or whatever it was, the fact that all the guys showed up and there was a performance not only, I think, gave fans hope, but gave me hope that, you know, almost anything's possible. Obviously, the market was underserved at the time. There weren't as many tours, and there were no hip-hop festivals when we created Rock the Bells. I mean, Smoking Grooves was gone, the Sprite Liquid Mix tour was gone, there was no Fresh Fest. Outside of like a particular artist making a tour, like say maybe Dr. Dre's Up in Smoke tour or something like that, I think that ultimately there are fans and people who really want to support what we do with Rock the Bells. And San Francisco was one of those natural destinations. I went to school in the Bay Area. Had a good local partner who cared as much as we did at Guerilla Union. That was Kamel from Unk Marketing. And we threw some things at the wall to see what would stick. I mean, that first show was very intimate, kind of out in the street, and you know, there was no barricade. I remember there not being barricade, and I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be Redman and Method Man. They're gonna tear this place down, you know. The Bay Area loves hip hop, you know, in so many incarnations, not just what might be on the radio, but definitely what's underground, and what happened in the 80s and 90s matters as much as, you know, 2000, 2010. So I think from there, it was just a matter of, you know, where the demand would be. And we threw Rock the Bells across the whole country. And we tried to go into 20 cities. 2007 we had Rage, and it didn't work. People in Texas weren't feeling East Coast 90s era hip hop, you know. There were a lot of cities where it didn't work to the scale that we wanted it to. Didn't mean that Rock the Bells couldn't live there. We could do Rock the Bells club dates all around the country, and there'd be people that would appreciate it right now. You just can't do a 10,000 plus person festival with multiple stages. Rock the Bells the first couple of years was definitely 90s era East Coast space hip hop, you know what I mean? And underground, what people call backpack or political or conscious or, you know, independent. And I think that's what made it special. People knew you were going to, you know, feel that interaction between an MC and the crowd, you know, the almost like when we started in a club, we were really into that cipher, that energy that's in a cipher. And could we make that bigger? Could we take it to a festival level? Would it translate, you know, putting Sage Francis and Hyro on the same bill with Mos Def and Nas? So at the end of the day, I think, you know, people gravitated towards Rock the Bells because it meant a lot to them. You know, there may not be many fans, but the ones that are true fans, and they care about it a lot. You always felt like there was this historical essence, you know, with the show. You know, there's always a first or a last or a reunion, and it became like this wedding. And I call it like, you know, for the acts, it's like hip hop summer camp. For me and my staff, it's definitely a labor of love. You know, no one's doing this because of their paycheck, you know, for sure. Yeah, we're trying to make money. Yeah, we're trying to support acts. We're on the side of the business where 80% of the revenue goes to the acts. So we're living on 20% of the revenue. And I think that's why people like Rock the Bells. The greatest moment with Rock the Bells is right now, the fact that we're talking, that we're 10 years in. I turned 40 years old yesterday, and it didn't matter as much as the show. You know, we're still the same crew, that my crew's still together, you know, because we're not big. You know, a lot of people are like, oh my God, you guys run Rock the Bells. You know, it's just, I happen to have like a SEAL team, like 300, you know, of people that care as much as I do about something, and they believe in the vision. You know, maybe my biggest regret is, you know, probably biggest regret is that I put so many people in very tough situations. You know, it could be groups, it could be my squad, it could be my family. You know, when you don't sign up to do something, you do it because, you know, for bigger reasons. And sometimes when you ask people to do things for bigger reasons, I look at it as our company, I'm not a promoter, I'm an artist support mechanism. I'm out here paying acts to be on a show, to be in front of an audience that cares about them. And no one else in the world is doing this. There are way more brain surgeons than there are people reuniting Tribe Called Quest. 10 years from now, I mean, hip hop's as popular today as it was. We're celebrating 20 years of Wu-Tang. I don't think we'll be celebrating 30 years of Wu-Tang Clan. Like, there was so many groups in the last 2 years. There was like 92, 93, amazing years for hip hop, right? Like, I don't see Snoop on stage at 70 years old, you know, rocking out. And I don't see Wu-Tang Clan out on stage anymore. Like I said, maybe it'll be Kendrick, maybe it'll be Wiz, and maybe they'll be doing their class. Maybe we'll be sitting Good Kid, Mad City in its entirety 10 years from now. That would be dope. Or maybe we'll see Janae Aiko, you know, doing something amazing. I hope.